So, in case you didn't know, I went to Afro Nation. Correction. We went to Afro Nation. Let's quickly roll a little playback for y'all who may have missed this on my Instagram. We gonna show you a little something. Hours? We renting a car.
Am I serious?
They might kick you out because
You ain't naked enough.
out of the water.
Sister Rinse.
Where are we? Afro Nation.
Yeah. Can you show us a little bit more skin?
Thanks, Mercy.
We are all services.
What a good time.
What a good time.
Ay, ay, ay. See what not be.
All right, guys, so let's get down to business because there is a lot for us to talk about. There's a lot for me to move and process and heal through because if I was not with the group of women that I went with on this trip, I would have come back so pissed and just beyond frustrated. But honestly, everybody's energies and intentions and spirits were just in the right place, and we were able to support each other when one was spiraling down the negativity pits, and allow each other space to breathe when one needed just time, honey, of silence and not talking. It was just such a beautiful, beautiful group of women, and that was so healing and restorative for me to be a part of. I don't think those women have any idea what they did for me in sisterhood and girlhood. Like, yes, yes, yes. So big shout out to all the beautiful women who were on this trip with me, starting with Celesta, my big sister, the reason why we went on this trip. Shout out, girl, love you. Tembi, Kuda, Mercy, Faith, Refuwe, and Deneo. Refuwe and Deneo, you guys were absolute gems. It was such a pleasure to share this journey with you guys, despite the BS that we went through. So I'm going to structure this video in a way where the first part, I'm just going to be talking about Afro Nation, the concert. This is for those of you who would like to go next year and you want to figure out what your planning is, what do you need to consider. And then I'll move into our experience with Blacktrotters, who, if you don't know who that travel agency is, who claim to create luxury experiences for people, then honey, you're going to want to keep watching because I'm not holding back. I have receipts. I took my time too to allow this thing to kind of settle into my spirit because I honestly couldn't believe the things that we went through. You know, when things are happening to you in real time and then you're just kind of like living through it, but you're trying not to, like, I don't know, man. I don't know how to say it other than the fact that you're not processing what's happening in the moment until like later. Then you're like, what the heck was that? And I was having a lot of those moments this past week. I was like, what the was that? Okay, what was that? What was that? So that's going to be the structure of the video. This video is not created to bash anyone. All I am doing is sharing our experiences, and I'll also be touching on the experiences of other travelers at the end of this video because I found, I kind of went down a rabbit hole. Y'all know I'm committed to stuff on the internet, and when I'm digging, I'm a dig. In fact, I need to check what Reddit is saying about this agency if there's anything, because because child, we were basically scammed. We were scammed, and to think that we actually had it better off than other travelers who came after us, ciao, ciao. So let's clear up Afro Nation. If you want to do Afro Nation next year with your girlies, I highly recommend. It's such a cute trip. Yeah, it's a really cute trip. It's a really, really cute trip. And depending on where Afro Nation will be, you get to see a beautiful, beautiful part of either Spain or Portugal or wherever in Europe. So I think that's always worth it. So we went down there, like I mentioned, for my sister's 40th birthday celebration, and it was something that we knew she wanted to do, and but we were kind of slow to booking our own things, and that's how we ended up using blacktrotters, because by the time we all finally decided who was in, who was out, we were kind of late and the flights were starting to just be ridiculously inflated. So we opted to use a travel agency. So that is something I would say, why not explore? Not this company. Don't use them. Don't. I'm warning you. Spare yourself. Spare yourself the trauma and the waste of money that it's going to feel like. Just don't do it. But there are definitely other travel agencies out there, I'm sure, who are reputable and who offer packages that are sort of either inclusive of the ticket of the festival or just your flights and your accommodation and maybe an activity, something like that. So that's what we ended up doing. We picked a package that was sort of it fit people and their needs, because some of us had bought our own tickets already, others didn't, so it was kind of a mixed thingy, but we were able to get a package that included accommodation, flights there and back, and a catamaran cruise activity. So we were like, great, this is amazing, love it. So if now looking back, we were all like, guys, we could have planned this thing ourselves. So that's exactly what I would do. Not to stunt on anybody's bag, but I would honestly just look at the packages that are being offered by the travel agencies and then curate something of our own taste. That's how I did, or we did, our Europe trip when my husband and I went. So it's much easier that way. It's a bit more hassle. You got to be a bit more on the money with all the things, making sure you have all your flights booked properly, the times are right, it's a bit more effort. But I think just to have that peace of mind knowing that your stuff is booked and you're not going to disappoint yourself, I would say then that's worth it. So start already. I think if you wanted to go if you wanted to be going for next year, it's something you're already researching like a year in advance. And then because tickets literally go on sale after the first affirmation is over. So tickets have gone on sale now. I believe they went on sale Monday. I don't know. Don't quote me. When it comes to ticket types, I highly, highly thank you so much to Beulah for being a voice of knowledge and wisdom when we were putting our ideas together for this trip, because Beulah's previously been to, and I forgot to mention Beulah in the intro. Shout out, B. Sis. Thank you so much. Honestly, we would have been like deers following darkness if we had not had her wisdom and prior experience, because this was her second affirmation. Being able to know, okay, no girl, don't book VIP because ain't nothing V in the VIP. That saved us. So we booked the Golden Circle tickets and they were worth it, worth it, worth it, worth it. You get stage access, you get private toilets that are nice and clean. The ones in the general access, the toilets, they were just, those urinals were really questionable. I just didn't know what was going on. At one point, Tembi, my sister and I were walking and we looked to the left and she's like, oh, those are toilets. And we just saw a bunch of dudes like standing around, like pissing into these, like those silver industrial sinks. So it was just a bunch of everywhere. And I was like, is this is what's happening out here? So general access, I would not recommend being there. You barely can see anything when it comes to the lit stage. The Amapiano stage, I think you'd have better access to, but the lit stage where all the international acts are. I mean, that's where Mary was, Thames, Davido, Berna, everybody performed on that stage. So that's the lit stage. I mean, it's in the name. It's in the name. We did not make our rounds to that Amapiano stage at all. We just didn't make it. We also don't really love Amapiano that deeply. So those are tickets. Then after tickets, when it comes to flights, obviously, I mean, I would recommend booking as direct of a route as you can. The way our agency booked our freaking tickets, a mess. I'll let you know. So you do that. Tickets for the festival, check. Accommodation, just make sure that you Google where the venue is and then try and look for accommodation again well in advance around that area. It would even be more ideal if you could find something within walking distance because, child, it gets crazy with the Ubers, especially when it comes time to leave at the end of each night. It's like a mad rush of people. It's the great migration. It's just so overwhelming, and Uber prices shoot up. So if you don't have your own car, you're just going to be paying out your bum for Ubers. And that was also another tip that we heard from Carrie. Shout out to Carrie. I think he's also a second timer at Afro Nation, and he told us like, no, like that Uber thing when you're leaving is the ghetto. So we actually ended up renting a car, which amongst all 8 of us as a group turned out to be very affordable. And that was the best decision we ever made, child, because that Uber situation, and I mean, we still ended up in traffic, but at least we were like sitting in a car that was like ours. That's pretty much it. Like, plan little activities, see what's around that you can do because the festival only starts from 4 every day. So you have the whole day to like explore whatever part of the world that the festival is being held at. And I think that's a really, really nice thing. I love that so much because it allowed me to wake up each morning and go to the gym, eat my breakfast, and then like be lazy for a little bit and then slowly start to get ready. And then we would head out. So it was just perfect. So that's my advice when it comes to anybody who wants to go to the festival next year. Please let me know if I missed anything in the comments down below, and I will definitely address it for you so that you are all clear and ready to go. Ooh. All right, now let's get into our experience with Globetrotters, Blacktrotters. We all thought the company's name was Globetrotters, but it's Blacktrotters. Black. Child. This company that my sister found, no shade to my sis. In fact, at some point during the trip, I remember we were all so frustrated, and I remember looking at her because she was the contact person and just being like, why doesn't she know the information? And then I had to remind myself, like, girl, it's not your sister who's the mess. It's them. It's those people. So let me start from the top. So when, like I mentioned previously, we were late to make our decisions, and then by the time we were ready, like we basically were forced into taking a travel agency package because otherwise we were going to be paying an arm and maybe 2 legs in order to secure flights and secure accommodation. So the package that I took, because I bought my Afro Nation ticket separate from the agency, they did have their own Afro Nation packages. So that included the ticket, and I didn't need one of those. So my package came up to $49,950, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, if I am, I'll put it on the screen. And that included flights there and back, accommodation, 5-star accommodation, might I add, and the catamaran cruise. Now, the only thing that saved these people was the fact that the accommodation was truly freaking 5-star. It was beautiful. The hotel was beautiful. The staff were lovely. It was massive. There was more than enough space for everyone to be like, yes, I can sit here and eat breakfast, even though there were so many of us. Like, I wonder what the occupancy of that hotel is because, whoa, there were a lot of people. I think it was definitely at full capacity when we were there because there was a lot of us coming who were staying there who were going to Afro Nation. So the resort was called the Ibero Star resort, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I'll be popping in pictures throughout this entire video and screenshots and receipts. So y'all just make sure you keep your eyes on the screen, okay? So we got in touch with the agency. They gave us quotes. We accepted the quotes. We agreed that we are going to be doing a payment plan. We agreed to the monthly amount, and bam, we all started making our payments. Months start to go by. We're making our payments. We're making our payments. At one point, they were sending us statements to let us know where we were, what was left. Great. I love that. And then somewhere along the way, things started to crack because payments were being made and then we weren't getting statements. We weren't getting updated statements. So we were like what's happening? So time goes on, and then we get closer to all of us basically being done with our payments. And now they want to tell us about the visa process. So they actually do assist with the visa process, but of course at a fee, at a beautiful 5K fee. So my sister who lives in South Africa was like, nah, then I'm just going to do this stuff myself. And we all just went to the embassy of Spain. Collapsed to the Spanish embassy in Windhoek. Honestly, that was the easiest visa process I've ever been through. So we got the majority of us got our visas here. Literally, like my sister Celesta went Wednesday, and Thursday they were calling her to pick up her visa. It was like, what? Who are you people? Thank you. So, and they also recognized the fact that there was a lot of people going to Afro Nation. There were a lot of people coming to apply for visas just for that specific reason. So it wasn't something that they were like fielding and being weird about. But my sister in South Africa, Tembi, did get her visa denied. Like, yo, I don't know, man. South Africa is jungle. So her visa got denied, and the reason that they gave her was like something about the validity of her documents, but then they didn't even say which documents. So it was this whole thing. We were all so stressed towards the end because she literally got her visa the Friday, and we were meant to fly the Monday. It was just like, why? Why so much excitement? It was the worst. So we ended up appealing. We actually went back to the travel agency and asked them, like, hey, can you guys help us? They were like, yes, we can, because you literally need to like get an appointment. You know, y'all know how these visa processes work. You can't just come and say, oh, I want to resubmit my application without an appointment. And by the time, if she had gone through the normal way and like looked for an appointment, it would have been like at the end of the month. You know what I mean? So we went back to the travel agency. They helped us. That was lovely. But they also didn't really necessarily help her in the best way. It was still a mess of frustration. But eventually we figured it out. And I'm just going to spare y'all with the details of what the nitty gritties were exactly. But we ended up getting her visa that Friday. We were all like, ah, now we can actually get excited, because the last thing you want is to have somebody who has paid for the whole damn thing be left behind. Like, that's just the ghetto. That's the icing on the ghetto ass cake. So we didn't want no parts of that. So we were so grateful when her visa came through. And bam, we packed and off we went. So the way they booked our flights, which I don't even know why my ass did not look at this before, because the way they booked our flights was actually so ridiculously silly. They booked us, okay, my sister Celesta and I and Mercy were coming from Windhoek, so we had like an extra leg. So like Windhoek, Joburg, Shap. So, and the travel agency package started from Joburg onwards, so we booked our Windhoek Joburg tickets ourselves. Great. We get to Joburg, we get on the next flight, we're flying Qatar. At least it was a beautiful experience. Great food, great movie selection, nice blankets. Like, it was cute. They're cute. Qatar is cute, even in economy. And they kept making us walk through business class to leave the flight. And I was just like, we were all like, why are these people paying us? Why do they want us to see the nice luxury thick duvets, these velvet quilts that they have in business class? Like, I was just like, thanks, universe. I received the signs. Anyway, so they booked us Joburg to Doha, Doha to Madrid. Tell me what we were doing in Madrid. Tell me why we took a detour to Spain. What are we doing in Spain? So all of us decided to say, y'all, we've been to Spain because we actually even left the airport to go to the terminal for the next flight. It's like a terminal elsewhere. We had to take a bus drive. It was like, we're in Spain. So Spain, and then from Spain, we hopped on a flight that took us then to Lisbon. And in Lisbon, we arrive and we're thinking, oh my gosh, thank God, because we were told, oh, I'm going to insert the itinerary. We were told that, like, okay, travel day, and then the day you arrive, we basically meant to arrive at like 2, 3, 4, maybe, early afternoon. Okay. That was the expectation so that we could have the day to settle in, just enjoy the beautiful resort that we're staying at and, just, mellow into it. The day before when we arrived and are mellowing in, we wanted to go and pick up our Afro Nation tags. And then just know that day one we're sorted, we just arrived, Choop. So, and this was also according to the itinerary that they suggested. Day one of the festival, enjoy. And we were supposed to have our catamaran cruise that day on the 9th of July. We're supposed to have our catamaran cruise. But did we? No, we did not. So I don't want to get ahead of myself. So they booked us these crazy trip that was so long. So by the time we arrived in Lisbon at the train station, we are defeated. It is hot. We are confused and we're thinking that we're supposed to get on the next train, which is at 2 o'clock, because we were all looking and we were like, okay. And this is where I remember a moment where we were frustrated and Tembi was like the one receiving the frustration, because these people told us we were going to have airport shuttles, transfers, and hotel transfers via shuttles. There were no shuttles. It was Ubers being booked that were that weren't even being booked by the person who was with us as a host. So she was like talking to somebody else who was then booking the Ubers, and that person would be unreachable. And then it's an extended waiting time. And then we're just standing there and there's no communication. It was just the pits of the ghetto. We were like, why do we even have a host here? Because she's just as confused as we are. Like, what the hell? Oh my goodness. So we thought we were supposed to be on this 2 o'clock train. We're all rushing. We get there only to be told that they booked us. They booked us on the 6:30 train. And everybody's spirits just fell to the ground because we had been traveling for now over 28 plus hours. We're tired, we're stinky, we're in the same clothes that we were in yesterday. Like, we just want to arrive. Like, how do you book us on a 6:30 train when you know what time our flight landed? Our flight even landed at like 10:45. We were there early. We just decided to kill time ourselves and like go to the malls and shop, thinking that we would be on the next train out. But no, these geniuses booked us on the 6 o'clock train. Y'all guys, you don't even understand how defeated we were. And then when we were all complaining, they were like, well, this gives you an opportunity to explore. And we're like, who the heck told you that we want to explore with our suitcases and like smelling like yesteryear? Like, it was the most frustrating thing ever. So this girl, this host, ended up keeping our luggage. So we just like left all our bags with her, and then we went into the malls, we ate, we looked for places to refresh ourselves. Like, we were just like, you know what, we're here, what the heck else can we do? We don't have tickets to get on any of the prior trains. They're all fully booked out because we tried we tried to try and just escape ourselves from this mess, but no. So we just made peace with it.
The frustration is frustrating.
And that was us. Finally, 6 o'clock comes around. After we kill all that time, we get on the train, and this is the slowest train we have ever been on. And it takes 4.5 hours. We get on there at 6 o'clock. So y'all do the math. 4.5 hours for this train to get to the destination. And when we get to the destination, it's not even still the destination. We still had to take an Uber, a shuttle. We still had to take a shuttle to our actual hotel destination. So we're sitting on this train. The train was freaking cold, and the train is what almost broke me personally. I cried on that train because I was defeated. I was like, I'm a good person. Like, I don't deserve this. Like, who travels? Like, you know, when you don't even have that many days to spend exploring a place, you don't want to spend 2 days traveling. And that's what we ended up doing because we arrived at the hotel like past midnight. No, past 11. Yeah, just after 11. Like, after the whole shot. Okay, we get off the train. The elevators of the train station thingy wasn't working at one point, so we had to like carry our bags down, our suitcases down.
There she is. Yeah, she does have a suitcase.
We all just kept laughing because if you wouldn't laugh, you would cry. You would cry. We're all together with our host, and again, she's now waiting for the Ubers to be booked by somebody else who's already at the hotel, who's not answering, who's not being responsive. And we stand there and we stand there. And we're a bunch of women in a foreign country at some random train station close to midnight. Like, it's not given smart and safe, as tourists. It's not something you do. So eventually Mercy was like, guys, we work. And we were like, you know what? We really do work for our damn selves. Like, let's just get our own Uber. And there was already a guy there who had tried to like haggle us and offer us a ride. He was like, 75 euro, let's go. And we were like, no. So and he had parked there. He hadn't gone. So we just flagged him back and he made that U-turn, parked right in front of us. And we said, we going. And we told them, listen, we are getting into this Uber. We're going to pay for it. And you guys are going to refund us. You're going to give us our money back because this was not what was promised. And Lord, that's what we did. We got in the Uber. It was maybe a 15-20 minute drive. And then we arrived at our hotel, which was just the best thing that you want to see after such a crazy day. And I, of course, took the opportunity to arrive, change into my workout clothes, and I went to the gym and I just gave my frustrations to the dumbbells, the treadmill. Like, I needed that. That was like one of the best workouts that I had because my body was so pent up with frustration and soreness and stiffness. And I was just like, I need to sweat. Not that I hadn't been sweating the whole day, but yeah. So that was us getting there. The beginning of the bullshit. In the next video, I'm going to be touching on the rest of our trip, how Afro-Nation went for us, what we were promised, what we were actually delivered, and we'll be touching on the reviews of other travelers who have used blacktrotters and, yeah, the mess that is their service delivery. Thank you so much for joining me in this one. I cannot wait to catch you in the next one. Bye.